And here we are on Metropolis in game number 4 times 2 equals 8. In the bottom, 6 o'clock position from Dream Team Gaming. Guys, it is the Purple Protoss player, Sickness. His opponent in the 12 o'clock position up here, in cross positions, I guess, technically. Guys, from New Star Hoso, it is Brave, our green Protoss.
That's right. So, Brave versus Sickness. And we're down to PvP now.
Oh, you said Sickness, and then you said down. You almost said down with.
I would never say that because then I'd have to kill myself right afterwards.
What?
So
What?
That's, that would be the problem.
Kevin,
so.
Why?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, we need to talk music later.
Yeah.
And it will probably end.
Well, that's not music, so I mean we can discuss real music afterwards, but sure.
I just want to see what direction that conversation would go.
Well, Sickness is very fond of doing this in PvP, building his wall up at the front still, make sure that he retains every little advantage that he can. Of course, it kind of telegraphs a little of what he's going to do to his opponent if he doesn't wall that off right away. Brave, of course, doing the bit more economical version. As you can see, even though it was a 13 gateway, he gets his down a few seconds beforehand. He also gets down his simulator just a few seconds earlier because of the additional little economic advantage he gets from building his structures in so closely.
And these small things can really add up, especially and more than anywhere else in PvP. Mm-hmm. Because if you're just a few seconds ahead in if you're a few seconds ahead in Warp Gate or something like that, yeah. Hey, guess what? I warp in 4 Stalkers, and then what? You start warping in 4 Stalkers? Let me tell you what I'm going to do the whole time that you're warping in your 4 Stalkers, Kevin. This is how good I am. While your Stalkers are warping in, I'm actually going to kill them.
Yeah.
I'm going to kill like 2 of them. So, yeah, PvP, it actually makes a gigantic difference.
It certainly does, and we can see that quick 2 gases coming out for both players. But it actually ends up dropping in a little bit earlier for Sickness, who has actually just gone ahead and just straight out put 3 on each gas. Now, so often you'll see players do this, then put 2 on each gas, and then go up into that, you know, that Blink Stalker build pretty early on. But this is going to offer a lot more flexibility to Sickness. He's going to have a bunch of gas at his disposal.
Yeah, can definitely go with more sentries and can tech up harder towards things, you know, like a very fast Twilight Council here, or even make his way up to a Dark Shrine, all possible. So Brave is going to have to prepare for literally everything here, and the best way to do that is with a Robo. So we'll see if he decides to, you know, respond to what he's seeing here out of Sickness and get a little defensive, or if he continues with his plans.
Okay,
Maniacal. Well, what does maniacal mean, Kevin?
Maniacal?
I feel like you're like a living walking dictionary and encyclopedia. So maniacal.
Why thank you, I suppose.
If you don't know, I'll actually
No, maniacal to me has always been
human.
like when you think about like maniacal villains or something like that. It's always the ones that are a little bit twisted, the ones that are.
Is it like maniac? They come from the same word. I always thought like diabolical when I think of like villains.
Yeah. But that's why I'm not saying like, but a maniacal villain as opposed to like a diabolical villain would be someone who's very twisted and warped. More the Joker, less Bane.
That was so perfect. Look at it. Man, I feel like I'm in school right now.
I would consider Bane diabolical. I would consider the Joker maniacal.
Yeah. I did catch that much at least.
Yes. All right.
But only because there's a magic card that helps. All right, guys, Stalkers killing each other out here in the middle of the map right now. Will any go down? Yes, Braves is going to be picked off, and that's an immediate push here for Sickness. But Brave did... wait, what?
Yeah, no, Brave's actually being pushed back pretty far here. This is not working out well for him. And look at this! He actually gets zoned out for a little while because of the 3 pylons that were being dropped down at the front. Crazy little maneuver by Cygnus. Of course, what he wanted to do was zone those units out and get some up of his own if he had superior Stalker counts, but unfortunately it didn't end up working out all that well for him, and he did lose 75 minerals as a result.
Yes, so Sickness didn't have Warp Tech the whole time. That was really what Brave did. He has just finished up. He's getting warped in now, but he went for a very, very fast Robo here. Observer is on the way right now. He's got an expansion behind this as well.
Okay, yeah, I mean, Cygnus, you know, his own robo is quite a bit later. It's still got about 40 seconds until it finishes up, and he is carrying, let's see here, looks like a slight unit or stalker advantage here, and that's all that's being brought up to the front. Even though he had less sentries, it wasn't going to matter because he's pushing his opponent back for now. Be awesome. Sometimes you'll see Protoss players cycle this hurt stalker to the back for a little while just to make sure it doesn't get picked off from like 2 quick shots as they stutter step away.
Sentry's going to start working on that supply depot as Brave takes an expansion of his own. Cygnus on the other side of things, dropping down that Twilight Council. He's going to have a lot of tech options available to him here in the near future. Will he be, I mean, Blink Stalker is so meh on this map, but it looks like that's what he's going for. What are your thoughts?
I mean, it's very possible. I mean, this map plays out very War of the Worlds as you get into the game, just because of the fact that how far this is apart. Once you start investing into Robotech, it's very easy to then start taking base after base after base after base, because you don't rely on warpins so much. You do them for a little bit of harassment, you do a little bit of warp prism play, stuff like that, but once you stabilize to the first couple of Colossi popping out, then you start moving into a super late game here.
As long as you don't have a million Phoenix versus a million Phoenix, right?
Right.
Props to Grubby MC. But, all right, so the expansion's done for Cygnus. Braves is nearing completion here. Both players making Immortals, but we are seeing the Blink, as we were talking about. Out of Cygnus here, he's going to be on 5-gate Blink with a Robo making Immortals. And, in fact, he's going to drop down a number more here. And you know what this actually looks entirely like it's going to be? Which the observer sees, by the way. Okay, those are more gateways. Couple of Immortals. You make a push. You have lots of Blink Stalkers. If your opponent goes Colossi, you can blink in, target down their Colossus. You try to hit before they have 2. And if, well, they will have Immortals, and you just blink in, you focus their Immortals, and then you have Blink Micro available to you to blink back with to provide that longevity.
All right, well, we'll see if he can pull it off. I mean, this is still going to be rough because this is now being telegraphed to Brave. He knows exactly what's coming, and he's actually trying to meet this out in the middle of the map before that big warping of Stalkers actually happens. It looks like he is able to pick off the Observer, which is nice. It's a good little touch, but he wasn't able to get any of the Stalkers quite yet. Does limit the vision of his opponent, but now he needs to pull back to more defenses in a hurry.
Yeah, he definitely does. He's making more and more Immortals right now, continuing to warp in Zealots' Sickness. He actually doesn't have as many Stalkers as I would expect, especially sitting on 450 gas. I'm like positively flabbergasted that he is keeping that count so low.
He made the round of Zealots so he could close with the Immortals a bit. Because his opponent doesn't have Blink, that's actually a really bad spot for the Immortals to be in up at the front.
Yeah, definitely.
If they were at least a little bit surrounded. No, he's actually going to try and bypass these forces and run up at the front at the same time. And look at that. You see one of the Immortals is immediately picked off because it was being closed with so quickly. And the sentries are exposed now, which means it's just Stalkers and Immortals sitting at the back. And honestly, the forces from Cygnus will be able to dispatch of those relatively easily. Second Immortal falls really quickly. The third one, this is how you protect your Immortal, though, because now it's being sat in the back and it's not taking any damage whatsoever. The fourth Immortal goes down. All the while, there was just one Immortal sitting here for Cygnus, and it's actually going to be enough because it can tank shots from this own Immortal for quite a long time before its own shields go away.
Yeah, that was a great analysis, Kevin. So now Brave is going to be losing his last Immortal as he blinks in. Cygnus doing a fantastic job picking apart Brave's army here with that Blink Stalker micro.
Yeah, that could not have been a better engagement. I mean, he played that out perfectly.
Yeah.
Because all things considered, those two armies go up against each other. Brave should have won, and he just flat out didn't because of poor positioning.
And isolating he only isolated a portion of those Immortals in the front so that the Zealots could get to them, but afterwards he was able to blink past it. It was beautiful. Immortals coming in down now through the back, going to try to get him what damage they can. Blinking around everywhere is Cygnus. I don't know if he's got enough here to finish this off quite. Surprised he's not trying to run away. It looks like he really wants to pick this Immortal off and then should try to make a run for it. No, he's going to stay. In fact, how are the health on those Stalkers is quite full, but continuing to warp and reinforcing Zealots here is Cygnus. Now going to be falling back with those last few Stalkers of Zealots. This is incredibly close. The supply is falling for Brave, though.
Yeah, it is. And look at the overall economy. It looks like Brave is actually down a few workers, so he's going to be able to reinforce a little bit worse. And on top of that, of course, that he's got fewer gateways, only 4 of them, as a matter of fact, where, as you know, he can't make those robo units in enough time to be able to affect this. Now he's down to 26 workers and falling, and the reinforcements just keep coming in for Cygnus, who has played this game magnificently. And it looks like, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be heading to game number 9 between NSHO and Dream Team Gaming.
GG, down from Brave, folks. What what a game there out of DTG. Sickness.
Okay. Well, that's a thing. It is certainly a thing.
Tearing it up, man.
Yeah, I mean, Jakji had won 3 games in a row, put him up 4-2. You thought that NSHO was in great position to take the set very quickly, but Sickness has come in and done his job, and now he's just 1 game away from taking the set for Dream Team Gaming. The final player for NSHO, another Protoss player, Tassadar.
Yep, it's going to be a PvP to wrap things up here, but you said it, Kevin. I was like, Sickness is coming out. I was like, but Jakji's going to win. You're like, Sickness is pretty good. Here he is, tying up the set now. It all comes down to just 1 game here. We'll be back after a quick commercial break, guys.